So much for joining us Monday, President's Day. Hope it's been an awesome one. I'm just going to do a very quick recap of what we did last month, our very first Ladies Empowerment call, which was called Rooted in the Basics. And what that was about was just getting back to very basic, simple things, to not make things too complicated so that, you know, we are frozen and we don't know what to do. So we went back to, you know, your belief and your results, and your foundation is in your belief. And when we want to share AdvoCare with somebody, we don't have to have a big flashy story, because a lot of people aren't necessarily interested in a huge weight loss. A lot of people just want to feel better. And so we talked about just overcoming our fear of reaching out and calling people on our list, because what we have to offer people is much stronger than the fear that we have that's keeping us behind. So if you never did catch the very first one, it's still on the team Facebook page. You search for it, you can find it and watch it. We've promised to keep these 20 minutes max because our time is valuable, and you know, we want to get to it and just, you know, make the most out of our 20 minutes that we can. So today, what the plan is for each of these empowerment calls is to kind of build on to the next step. So, you know, we started with our foundation, which is our belief and our results, and being able to have our list, which is ever changing, ever evolving. We're constantly adding new people to it. It never goes away. Your list is something that should always be in front of you all the time, and just reaching out to people, because, and we don't want to, and we want to do that with our heart. You know, we don't want to do it thinking so much in our head. We want to reach out and connect with people from our heart and just share. And I even gave a very simple, you know, if it's like you hadn't talked with somebody in a while and you were really nervous about reaching out to them, how you could even say, hey, you've been on my mind, but I have to be honest with you. I've been really nervous about what you might think. However, I just know that what I want to share with you is more important than the fear that I have. So do you have 10 minutes for me to share with you what's been happening? And then just wait for the response. And, you know, a good friend of yours or just a good person is not going to turn you down. Of course, they're going to say, yeah, please, you know, share what's on your heart. Or if it's maybe not at that moment, but hey, I can't right now, but yes, I'd love to hear more about what's going on. When can we connect again? So just remember, like, what you have is more important than your fear. So just getting that out of the way. So we're going to build on top of that. And I've got a special guest on here tonight, Jodelle Jenkins in Charleston, South Carolina. And what we're going to focus on here is we have our list, and then what do we do now? Right? So you may have your list, you may have started reaching out and connecting with people, but we really need to be productive, and we're women, and so we wear many hats, and for a lot of us, we don't have a lot of time, and that's definitely what Jodelle's going to share with you. We all have 24 hours in a day. No one has more hours in a day than anybody else. So what we're really working on is not necessarily time management. It's really about managing ourselves, right? And so for a lot of us, you know, we say that we're busy, and sometimes I just hate even saying that, because let's be honest, we're all busy. It doesn't matter if you have 1 kid, 0 kid, or 5 kids, if you have a job, if you have family, if you're taking care of your elderly parents, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all busy. However, it's what we do with our time that we have, because we will prioritize what's most important to us. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. And Jodelle has, I mean, she's going to share with you, but she's a mom of 2. She has a full-time job as a nurse. You know, she has a husband, and she's just going to share with you what she does to make her time very efficient, because she doesn't have a lot of it. And we also find as women that we go through seasons in our lives of when more time opens up for us than others. And she's going to share with you like her journey and what's been going on with her right now. So the main thing to know is, like I said, we all have the same amount of time, but it's about being disciplined if that's what you're interested in, if this is what you want, if you really want to build your AdvoCare business. And it doesn't really matter, even if you do it from a hobby level perspective, if maybe you're not interested in building your business to a high degree. I think we can all agree that if we are disciplined daily, that we can achieve a lot of great things and help a lot of people who really need us. So I'm going to turn it over to Jodelle and let her share with you what's been going on.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And Nicole's right. We've had a lot of conversations about this over the last few years because she's right. We are women. We wear a lot of hats. And I think one thing to really know and recognize and just embrace is that we all have different purposes, and everybody that we are helping has a different purpose, and it's ever evolving and ever changing. So, and we do need to maximize our time the best, and we need to be efficient with our time. And I'm going to help, hopefully, give some great pointers just to really have some action items that we can take home with us tonight. But I thought it would maybe be best to start with me kind of sharing my story and what Advocare has done for me over the last about 3.5, 4 years now. And I'll tell you how I started 3.5 years ago, just like probably almost everybody on this phone call, and just like a lot of the women and men, but that we're talking to now, is I was a product user. I was a happy product user. And I was shared the income opportunity multiple times. And I said, no, no, that's great for you, but it's not for me. And I don't have time to do Advocare, right? How often do we hear that from people that we talk to? And at that time, I was a full-time nurse. I worked in a cath lab, so I was taking a lot of call. My kids were 3 and 4. I was paying $1,200 a month for daycare. But I'm like, I make good money. And it took one mixer where I heard Mary Ann tell me that she was matching her nursing income. All of a sudden, I had time to do Advocare, and that was about 6 months into my Advocare journey, my introduction to Advocare, just being a product user. And at that time, when I heard that, my goal was, we had $70,000 in debt. And I went home from that mixer and I wrote down our goals for the next 5 years, what I wanted to do with my kids and my family, places I wanted to travel, the debt I wanted to pay off. And it was enough to get me up into my office in the evenings. And, instead of watching my favorite TV shows, I was up connecting with people. And I loved how I felt, and I wanted to share that. And now fast forward 3 years, my kids are in school. We paid our last consumer debt off this summer. All we have left is our home. And, now my purpose is changing, and it's going on a spring break trip in April that's paid for. It's palm trees in my yard. I just think it's really important. And I'll be honest, like when I paid off that debt this summer, it was just kind of like whew, now what? Now what am I, now, it's just, now what's going to push me. But I'll tell you what else. It's the people that are on this journey with me, that want to do this with me, that have their goals and with the reasons they need this, and what $500 a month does for them. So that's really become a motivator. I don't want to let them down. And honestly, fast forward in my career 3 years, I'm now a nurse manager of this busy cardiovascular unit. It has helped me with my leadership. And I think the wonderful thing about Advocare and this group and the community like us, that even that we have with us women, is that we can push each other. And sometimes we can even back off and just love each other where we're at, because we all understand what other women are going through. I think we're all here because we have servant hearts, and obviously because we love these products and know what they can do. So I just think that's really important, and to recognize in these women, as you share your story and what Advocare could be for them, and listening to them, what they need you for, just moving forward. So so that's kind of getting really deep, and I'm going to try and just bring it up with some action items, because like Nicole said, there are different seasons. And I'll tell you, my Advocare looks very different in the spring than it does in the summer and in the fall. You know, fall is kind of a time of planting seeds and people seeing me take products and just listening for opportunities and sharing Spark and things like that. And then, you know, January is a time when you're really coaching people and really helping people through. And I'll tell you, journeys in my life, like come March, here down in Charleston in South Carolina, we start baseball season. And baseball season for me is like salad in a jar and peanut butter sandwiches for supper every night, getting home and getting kids bathed and in bed by like 9 o'clock if I'm lucky. That's every night. It's crazy. I just feel like a chicken with my head cut off. So I'll tell you an action item that I had heard at one of the Advonations was 24 minutes. Nicola briefly talked to, you know, that daily consistent, that daily effort. If I could just give 24 minutes to my Advocare, you know, to when I do Advocare. And what I mean by that is I can sit down in my office, have quiet space, and I can have some action items. Maybe it's reaching out to new people. Maybe it's, I look at my calendar where I make all my notes. Maybe it's somebody I sparked and I wrote their name down thinking of them. That's somebody I can follow up with. Maybe it's catching up with somebody who I just haven't caught up with in a while. Maybe it's reaching out to one of my advisors just to see if there's anything I can do to help them. So just having a clear set of action items of things that are on my heart and on my mind. So having 24 minutes, I set my timer on my phone and that motivates me. I think a lot of us women are like that. We're driven by timelines. We like to make lists and check them off, right? So that's something that really works for me, and it's doable. I can tell myself, like, I can gear up to do 24 more minutes, you know? And I start with those lists of things that I don't really, I shouldn't say I don't really want to do, but I have a harder time doing. Maybe it's reaching out to a new person. I was like, oh, I know they would love this. Like, they would love this new product, but I haven't talked to them in 3 months. I'm just going to do it, you know, like that's going to be my first action item. So, and I'll tell you right now in my life before baseball season starts, and this is something me and my teammates did after Success School, was that we sat down and we kind of made a pact of how much time do you have a week to devote to Advocare? And we all wrote down, I have Mondays and Wednesdays from, you know, 8:30 to 10 that I'm really gonna devote to getting myself organized and on track and working towards my goals of Advocare. So just having, I think that communication with your leader is really important. Let them know your goals. Let them know what you're here for. Whether you're seasoned or whether you're brand new, I think it's really important to kind of always come around and go back to your leaders with that in mind, so they can hold you accountable, so you can hold yourself accountable. And I guess the other thing I really like to point out here also is that your journey is going to be unlike anybody else's. You really can't compare yourself to anybody else's. It's all dependent on what your goals are and how much you're willing to work, and how many people you can talk to and how many people you can help. But it's going to be different for everybody, and it's going to be different in your different seasons of your life. And I think it's okay to accept that and let that take some pressure off of you. I know there was more things that I wanted to say. I could probably go on all night. But I do also, so those action items that we were talking about, when you have time to do Advocare, this is another big thing though. And this is something that really hit home with me, was, you know, that rock analogy where you have your big rocks in your vase and then you have your smaller stones and then you have your sand, right? So your big rocks are your family, they're your husband, they're your kids, they're your friends, they're your full-time job. Then you have your smaller rocks, which is like your baseball, your gymnastics, your, you know, maybe it's your bowling league or whatever it is, your girls' night out every other Thursday. And then you have your sand. And that's what Advocare is. It's something that's meant to go with you everywhere. It's meant to fill all those gaps and just trickle into your life. You know, it's meant to be something that you can take with you. We all are busy. We all are moms and you know, have all different paths of life, but it's meant to be something we do with life, in our life, not be our life. So anyway, back to those action items. I'll let you know, this is something I just printed off our microsite. If you go on your microsite and go under your tools, there's a daily method of operation. And this to me is a quick checklist. If you can see, it's starting somebody on a 180, starting somebody on a jump start, getting on a phone call, sampling product. And you can check what you did that day, and your paycheck will reflect what this looks like. If there's not a lot of checks there, your paycheck's not going to be that great. So I like quick visuals like that. You know, when I sit there and say my paycheck really, you know, was not great, I can be like, well, I didn't do any of these things, or I only did 2 things, you know? So I think that's a really important, just having structure. Again, us women, we like check, 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 right? Check our lists off. This is right on your microsite, or whatever works best for you. Having those 24 minutes, maybe that's what's going to work for you right now. It's that daily consistent effort, just is what's really going to power you through. So, Nicole, is there anything I missed?
I don't think so. You did a great job. Thank you for sharing.
I feel like this is a big topic, and I really want to do it justice, because I really feel like it can make or break your business. I mean, honestly, it's not meant to be so overpowering and overpressuring that it smothers you, but yet we also want to light a fire and, you know, like push each other and push past that comfort zone a little bit. So that's when great things happen.
Right. So I will, because we just have like a couple minutes to stay on track. So yes, thank you for sharing the DMO, the daily method of operation. If you, that is on your microsite under tools. And this is what we're talking about. This is the discipline, the daily discipline. These are the things that you should be doing daily. Are you going to check all of those off? No, but it helps you like zero in on your behaviors. What should I be doing? Should I, you know, you're always looking to, you know, help somebody with a 24-day jump start, or a commit would be even more better, right? I mean, it's always, you know, listening for somebody who needs product, but not only that, but also just connecting with the people that are already there with you, connecting with your leaders and communicating with them. Like Jodelle said, you know, they talked about how much time that they had, and so that they could help each other stay accountable to that. Your DMO is going to keep you in line on your daily activity. And then I'm not going to go and share more about it, because Brock just did it the other night. The Champions Pathway, depending upon like where you are in your journey, you know, whether you're getting to advisor or you are an advisor, that's also a great tool to help you gear your activity on what you should be focusing on. So if you missed his video on that, I sent it out in the news today, and it's also still on the team Facebook page. So look for that, and you can also download that PDF, the Champions Pathway bonus worksheet. And I just want to like finish with asking you guys 3 questions. And Jodelle and I kind of went over this, because you might think, you know, you might not know exactly like what your why is right now. Like Jodelle was saying, like she kind of had a why in the beginning, and then she got that accomplished. And so now it's kind of like, now what? So just let me ask you guys this. So your why, first of all, it doesn't have to be finite, and it doesn't even have to be overly specific. Okay, so that might help you relax a little bit. So let me ask you these 3 questions. Like for Jodelle, you know, she's successful in her career. You know, she's got a plate full of life with her family, and her faith is also very important to her. So the questions I asked are, you know, is it important to you, for you, to be the person that you're called to be? And I think everybody on here tonight would say yes. Yeah? I think I put the chat on, so you can like raise your hand or like say, yep. So do you want to give your children the environment and opportunity for them to be who they were called to be? I think we would all say yes. And then third, do you believe Advocare is a wealth building asset that is an incredible investment vehicle that can grow over time and be here after you are gone? Do you all think so? If you can answer yes to all these questions, you have a why. And let me just reinforce and encourage you that you have, that why is powerful enough for you to give meaning to the what, okay? So what you're doing, that daily activity. Like I said, it doesn't have to be some very specific purpose that you have. If you have people under you that you have a responsibility to, I mean, that's enough to keep you going, to help them achieve what they want to achieve, okay? So last time I had put out a challenge to everybody who had their chicken list to at least make one call. And so for this call, what I want to challenge you guys is you got to figure out some daily and some weekly pay period goals. And, you know, when Brock and I got started, we had a dollar amount. We knew exactly how much we needed to earn each pay period to replace my teaching salary. And that was the fire that was under our butts. Okay. So maybe for you, you have a dollar amount. One thing that everybody should be striving for is to get on the 3K club at the end of each pay period that we recognize. That everybody should be striving to be part of that 3K club. And also focusing on the Champions Pathway. And you focus on the Champions Pathway by doing the DMO consistently every day with discipline in whatever time that you can have with that. And so that's what I want to challenge you guys with. Figure out something that you can achieve daily, pay period, weekly at the close, and that's going to keep you on track. And I promise you, if you can do this, you're going to see growth happen. Not only growth in your paycheck, but growth as you as a leader. Okay. So just thank you. I know I went a little bit over time, but I appreciate everybody for being on here tonight. And if you have questions or comments, because I know we ran out of time and we were going to open that up. But you feel free to like post on the team Facebook page any questions or, you know, some other topics that you would love for us to chat about next time. So thank you all so much and have a great night.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.